It is absolutely an honor and a privilege to address you on this historic occasion, marking the donation of artifacts by Professor Ramon Weise and his niece, Alice Weise, to the Institute of Ethiopian Studies at Addis Ababa University. The 12 artifacts, originally from Ethiopia, were acquired by Franz Weise, the grandfather of Professor Ramon, during his tenure as the German envoy to Ethiopia in the 1920s. They include gifts from Regent Tafari Mekonnen, as well as items commissioned or purchased by Franz and his wife, Hedwig. Among them are 2 crowns, decorated shields, a sword, and a belt, and different paintings. Distinguished guests, these artifacts offer a unique glimpse into Ethiopian arts and the craftsmanship of the 1920s. They will enrich the remarkable collection of the institutes and the museum and serve as a valuable material for comprehensive research. These restitute items will also become an important attraction for tourists as well, complementing the artifacts returned to Ethiopia after being looted from Magdala by British force in 1868 and subsequently reparted through Afromet, the Association for the Return of the Magdala Ethiopian Treasures. I wish to express my deepest gratitude to Professor Ramon and Alice for their generous and exemplary initiative. I also extend my thanks to the Embassy of the Federal Republic of Germany for their support. Furthermore, I would like to congratulate Dr. Johannes, Director of the Institute, for organizing this event as well. And I would also like to thank Sophie's for facilitating this process. In addition to today's celebration, an accompanying exhibition of photographs taken by Franz and Hedwig Weise will also open tomorrow afternoon at the Goethe Institute. These photographs offer fascinating insights into life in Ethiopia in the 1920s. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, finally, I would like to note that these 2 linked events form part of the celebration of the 120 years of diplomatic relations between Ethiopia and Germany. They stand as a remarkable example of the enduring friendship between our 2 people and our 2 countries. Long live the 2 countries' friendship, and I thank you very much.
That it takes a lot of efforts to make from an idea, from a vision, from a dream, from talks to practice, to bring these items here to Ethiopia, to make this private donation possible. 12 beautiful Ethiopian artifacts that will be donated today, that are donated to the Institute of Ethiopian Studies. And I have to admit, they were coming to the embassy, and my colleagues had to push me back in a way, because I was so impressed by these artifacts. I was really admiring them, and I still do so. Following the Honorable Minister, let me take this moment and remember Mr. Fritz Weise, your grandfather, who was in a way my predecessor here in Addis Ababa. He was the envoy of Germany in the 20s, from 21 to 28. His time in Ethiopia was marked not only by strengthening the political relationship between our 2 countries, but it was also marked by his personal, and I will add, and you mentioned her already, by his wife's keen personal interest in Ethiopia, in its people, its history, and its culture. In the course of his mission, the Weise family built very close relationship with Empress Sauditu and Ras Tafari, whom we all know as the Emperor Haile Selassie. And as a diplomat myself, I I look back a little bit and I try to imagine, do I manage to work as, let's say, professional as my predecessor did, to really establish a close relationship with, well, what would it be? The Prime Minister perhaps today. I think it's a difficult task to fulfill, or it was a great achievement of my predecessor, your grandfather or your great-grandfather, who did so, who did establish a very personal relationship with the emperor, or the to-be emperor himself. You see the crown with the lion, I don't know if you call it fur or hair. This was a donation by Empress Sodito to the family on the occasion of the birth of their child Dieter, your father, a token of friendship and respect extended to the head of the German mission and also to Fritz Weise personally. Now, this crown and the other souvenirs brought as a donation from Europe, and you mentioned it's not only Germany now, it's Sweden, where you're coming from, Professor Weise. It is of historic importance, as I understood it, and you mentioned it, of historic importance, of cultural importance for Ethiopia. And I can imagine the thinking of the Weise family, what to do with these inherited artifacts of Ethiopia, artifacts that were given to the family, now coming as inheritance on you. And I can only applaud your decision to give this as a donation to this museum we just went through together, because this museum for tourists and Ethiopians alike will give a very good impression about what is Ethiopia, the rich history and culture, and these artifacts may contribute to this endeavor. The donation of these artifacts to the home underscores Germany's dedication to preserving Ethiopia's rich cultural heritage and fostering dialogue and understanding between our two nations. And as I've said from the very outset, it is not our donation. We are only the supportive element to this, making it happen. It is a reminder of the importance of Germany's foreign cultural educational policies, which seeks to create spaces for collaboration between scientists, societies, and also besides formal diplomatic channels. And let me evoke here the 22nd edition. It's not the right word, edition, but it's the 22nd conference, international conference on Ethiopian studies. We just had the pleasure, some of you in the room here, to experience, to take part of in Havasa only a couple of weeks back. And I was excited to see how many international scientists took part in this one amongst many Germans. It shows up to these days the keen interest of German scientists in Ethiopia's culture and history. And I was coming across young people, Germans, speaking Ge'ez, studying Amharic, and I was deeply impressed by their language knowledge. I would like to express our deepest gratitude to all those who have made this historic moment possible. First and foremost, many thanks to you, Professor Ramon Weise, and your family. Alice, you're here as well. Thank you to you as the donators of this. But it's, of course, the Institute of Ethiopian Studies of the Addis Ababa University, and I think this is very important that there is a trust built in this relationship, because these are items dear to your family you are giving in the good hands of this institute, in the strong belief that this institute, and I'm sure about this, will handle it in the utmost care and will put it on display for the larger audience to really make it the intention of your donation a realization, that the large audience will have the opportunity to see and experience these items, thus being enriched by the strong, by the deeply enrooted Ethiopian culture. But, and here comes our support a little bit into it, let me also mention here the Ethiopian customs branch, airport branch, and the Ethiopian post office. You might not believe it, but then the realization of bringing the artifacts here, it took us a little bit, every now a little bit heartbeat that we really get it through the customs and that we really get it into this country. All your efforts have ensured that these artifacts could be transported to Addis Ababa safely and can now be appreciated by so many people. As we are celebrating this occasion, let me also remember the legacy of Fritz Weise, whose life story is also, and I have to admit, as a German diplomat, emblematic of a dark chapter of German history and the history of the Federal Foreign Office. Fritz Weise was forced into early retirement in 1934 from the Foreign Office due to his Jewish heritage, and in 1937 in final retirement. In Berlin, he is commemorated today by a Stolperstein. Whoever went to Berlin might have tumbled over a Stolperstein, one of the many brass, like this size, brass tumbling stones, reminding us of the victims of the Nazi persecutions. Here in Addis Ababa, however, we wish to honor him with a unique exhibition of 51 rare photographs that he, Fritz Weise, and together with his wife Hedwig, it was mentioned already, took during their time in Ethiopia. This exhibition, open to the public from November 21st, so the day after tomorrow, until January 10, offers a unique glimpse into Ethiopian life in the 1920s, featuring scenes from Addis Ababa, cultural festivals, and rural landscapes. And I had the opportunity to have a kind of preview. I can only recommend, and I'm very grateful to the Goethe Institute that you will host this exhibition, and we will have the pleasure to open this exhibition tomorrow. So let's meet tomorrow again at 6 o'clock at the Goethe Institute. And now, coming to an end, may this donation of the family Weise and the exhibition stands as a testimony to the strength of our partnership and the significance of cultural cooperation. And I do wish that these items will be accepted, will be appraised with open arms by the large public here in Addis Ababa. Thank you very much.
We thank you all for considering this heritage to be renovated and conserved. We also thank all other partners for this initiative. At Addis Ababa University, we will continue to do this national mandate and mission as a flagship university to the nation, and also see Ethiopia's future to depend and based on its strong past, and that would shape its prosperity in the future. Excellency Minister, I once again welcome you all and thank you for joining us, and once again thank all our partners who have worked to get these artifacts back to Ethiopia and to their origin. I thank you.